Man, that's the scariest sound for real. I don't think I'll be going any closer than this. Look, the winds are trying to push us back anyway, trying to keep us safe from going over the edge. I don't think we can though. I see some logs piled up, just look like they're floating on top of the water. Like one of those forever pools or something like that, infinity pools. I'm trying to see a marker to see how high the waters get out here. And I see like an end of a brown line, you know, like a tannish looking line. That's good enough for now. I think I've had enough of that. Uh-oh, don't be the police. They're gonna think I'm crazy. I can't remember the last time I was out this early. I think it was like the fall a couple of years ago. Late November. No, it wasn't late November. It was like early November. November 8th. 2021 or 2022, something like that, when it was like 80 degrees out here, 79. Hit that thing right. Got some beautiful fall pictures with the changing of the leaves, man. About dang time I got on this thing this year though. This is usually one of the first places I try to get on the kayak. The second it hits 80 degrees. Like hitting 80 miles an hour on the radar gun. Burned out. Arm fatigue. Like me, couldn't even get out of bed this morning. And I decided to make a trip out here. We got all day. Up until dark. Till they shut the gate at the boat ramp. I mean, to keep the boats from getting in. After a certain time. What a gorgeous day indeed. I'm going to cover what I can today. This is no after-work adventure where we only have a couple of hours just to look around and have to hurry back. Boy, is it ever going to be a beautiful day. Check this out. Let me hit this thing right today. Going to chill. No Budweiser. No drinking alcohol for a very long time. Got to make the angels out here, my friends, our family. Make them happy. I got the Nas instead. Try to keep me awake, you know. It's going on 2 o'clock. I see a bottle I'm about to get. Got a 40-gallon garbage bag behind me ready to fill that thing up. Community service in heaven. Dang, man, this is a cool little chill zone. I mean, you got the light coming through. You got the sands of time. And of course, you got the garbage. Little backup zone. Probably was just floated up here. I see a couple of things. 3 things to be exact. And no snakes yet. We gotta keep a lookout for them too. Let's get this stuff out of here. I know no one's gonna see it. Except the ones we depend on. The ones that we all should know. About dang time I'm covering the edges of places I haven't been to before around the lake. A different perspective on things. What do we have here? The crows are chilling out here. What's this? Probably suntan lotion. Some kind of balm. Looks like it's been sitting there for a while. It's a almost full container. Sun bleached on one side. Aloe Fresh. I hope that's not a sign for me, you know. Like I'm gonna have to use this halfway through today, you know. I got my own suntan lotion, you know. Who knows if it's full of water or just a little bit left over. Things probably been sitting in the sun for a couple of weeks. Gotta get the garbage out of here. Too busy chilling looking at that scene right there, man. Look at that. Now, to be honest with you, I'm so glad I came out here today. I really wasn't feeling it, you know. But I had such a hard time getting out of bed. My body was in such pain. I could barely even move, and it felt so good to lay down in a soft bed. And I kept dozing off up until about 12:15. Then I got up, got a shower, and said, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the mountain. I don't feel like driving 97 miles to get on a kayak some other place. Now he stopped up there. Yeah, he's probably sitting right on 78. There's probably a big accident or something like that. Good thing we missed it. I mean, these waters are gorgeous. One of the cleanest lakes you could ever imagine out here in the state of GA. Always makes me wonder how sacred are these waters. You know? Wonder if we all were baptized in Stone Mountain Lake. Every last Christian being flown to GA, caravans, and being baptized in this place. Yeah, they're just like standing there, man. Look at that. They're just like sitting there. Yeah, something's going on over there. I don't exactly know what's going on behind me. Got two ladies. They're right on my tail. How do you say that? Hot on your tail? It's like we got the Georgia State Patrol behind us. Stone Mountain Lake Patrol. Yeah, see, I gotta get away from here. We're encroaching on their campsite heaven out here. Man, they pay good money to chill. They don't want some random dude pulling up on his kayak trying to get some crazy heavenly pictures. They got quite the view for real though. Oh, would you look at this? Someone done tossed a bench table in here. What the heck? A picnic table. Drag it into the lake, huh? And I'm trying to get some nice pictures. You don't see a little sailboat on the lake that often to help complete the image. And of course, now I was trying to get the perfect image. Of course, his sail turned linear to the mountain. So it just looked like a yellow line sticking up. Beautiful. there goes my gallon into the water. Forgot it weighed so much. I was trying to get this. Look. Another hat with no logo on it. That's kind of scary though. I mean, it's artistic, but you know, when it comes to something like this, the last 3 that I found had no logo on it. Well, dang. It's been a while since I pulled up something like this. It's got some weight to it, and it's still zipped up. There's some solid things up in here. Could be a laptop, could be just plastic containers. I see something red. Probably just the backing and filled with mud and stuff. Hard thing about that, yeah, I think it's just waterlogged. Man, when they put those spongy things inside these backpacks to protect the laptops from being crushed or what have you, whatnot. Yeah, there's something large right in here though. Yeah, it weighs a lot, man. But when they're waterlogged like this, the zippers always rust shut. Hold on. Probably stolen. Well, something smells like a skunk just sprayed us or something. I think I know what's in here. Whole container might be something, you know, that's probably not usable anymore. Looks like we might have a grinder here. You're going to say, Da Vinci, how you know it's a grinder without pulling that thing out? Well, because I smell something. Oh, that's a pretty one. Look, there's like 5 ladders up in here. You're going to say, dude, don't be digging your hand up in there. There could be some... Hold on. Oh, yeah, boy, that's tight. Okay, all right. Who doesn't know that smell by now? I know there could be needles in here. You're going to say you haven't gotten to the real treasure yet. Man, why would someone trash such a thing? Whatever it is now, it's useless. Just don't get pulled over with this in the vehicle. They would never understand. Yeah, it's all related to, you know, something else. Yeah, it's just waterlogged. Doesn't have too much stuff in there. All the foam stuff is all waterlogged with silt and stuff. That's why it weighs so much. Probably been in here for at least maybe a few months. Don't know. There's no telling. The rest of the stuff on the inside is some weird looking platter thing. You know, it's got all the psychedelic, colorful things on it. Typical smoke shop kind of stuff. A few more lighters. Like a thermos or something like that. And that's about it. Let's go ahead and get the garbage out of here. I'll have to trash it a different kind of way. Nothing too important in here. And unfortunately, no stash of cash. That's probably what they took before they dumped this thing. Hope they notice us picking up the garbage. Them jokers going to be flying right on top of us. top of us. Gorgeous. Stare into the light. Would you look at that? Feel the healing powers of the earth. Just don't step on the wrong thing, you know. Like these pine cones up in here. Ooh, look at that. I've been trying to look for a shallow spot so I can stand up and get off my sciatic nerve on the right side. It's killing me. Plus, I gotta load this stuff up. Get into the bag. The front's getting kind of full. Man, heck do I do to myself out here cleaning heaven? The stash just keeps growing. Dang. Already 4:20. Well, I didn't get here until 1:30. Beautiful heaven. Was hoping it was going to be something like this on the first time out here this year. About time I stood up and got off the sciatic nerve. Heavenly. Gotta stand in the light. Motionless. Got a heavenly zone right here. Perfect spot to sit down and look at the light within it. And then I noticed something that's got to be got. Looks like somebody trashed their bottle on the island right here. Like they normally do out here. Either the geese took it up there a while back. Let's grab it. Get the trash out of here. I'm choosing to pass under the bridge on the right and not the left this time. I don't go on this side that often. Very rarely. Don't throw anything at me. I'm trying to hurry up because there's a guy on the golf cart. There's a hole with a flag on the corner over here, and I'm trying to hurry up, make sure he doesn't try to hit me with a golf ball. He's right behind me. He's a young guy too. All right, I don't think he's going to try to hit us. You know what I'm saying, Da Vinci, you paranoid? Of course I am. I'm the most bullied human being you could ever imagine, even at my ancient age. Well, in this life, that is. You're going to say you got some things to get over, man. I'm almost 50 and I still haven't gotten over these things. I'm always, fearing the human race. See, don't stop on the bridge and throw something at me. People used to do that kind of stuff to me all the time. Especially when I was younger, up until I was like 20 years old. People just, how should I put this? Random people did the most mean things to us, to me. I'm looking. This is part of land I haven't been on yet. You can't really get to it unless you park in this parking lot right here. I see a couple of cars already. One just pulled in. And then you have to walk across the bridge. But there's no sidewalk. And then there's no access over here. I mean, this lake sandwiches right up against the highway, 78. And then there's a creek that goes underneath it, a little tiny one. Yeah, I've never been on this side before in the landscape. I thought today would be a good day. I mean, you can't get lost. It's just planted pine. That's all it is. And it just goes right up against 78. I'm trying to come over here and get this white thing. Looks like one of those white tops to the fishing bait. You know, the little round containers? The blue ones, whatever. Yeah, it's one of those dang white lids, man. It's underneath the trees. You see it, the white circle. I don't think I've ever been on this side this early before. I mean, probably an after work adventure, getting out here about 6:45, 7 o'clock. We're cutting it close again today. It's already like 4:45. I didn't know it was going to take like 3.5 hours just to get this, just to get this far. But I guess that's what you get when you're in chill mode. You don't move too fast. And not to mention that, you're trying to spot all the garbage. I came all the way over here for a white top. There they go. Another car passing. It's almost like I'm trying to get out of the eyes of the human race out here. Out of sight. The heck is that green thing over there? Can't get to it though. The branches are hanging down too low. Don't know. The heck am I doing out here just looking up for garbage, man? What kind of hobby is this? Well, I guess it's my thought process. What I enjoy doing. If I'm out here on the kayak, might as well just get what I see when it comes to the garbage. Pitch in. This place is loaded down, man. Gee, look at this. Dang, bro. Well, that's the sad part about it too. I know some of this stuff comes from the creek and the highway. It's all this industrial stuff right here. Yeah, but another thing about it is that when people come over here on this side to go fishing, it's almost like, since they're out of sight, out of mind, they don't have a lot of human eyes on them. It's almost like they can get away with a lot more dumping out here. You know, leaving their garbage out here when they're finished fishing. And they just leave it out here. Since it's not really, you know, viewed that much out here. That's a kid bucket. Yeah. Probably floated backwards from the campground. Yep, go figure, it's full. Yep, go figure. Of course, waste a lot. Hold on, I'm trying to get these little tiny pieces. Every bit counts in large amounts when they add it to the book, the tally. Question is, I mean, like, you got this bottle right here, it still has a top on it. Does that count as one complete piece? Like one tally? Even though you have a little top is still on it, you know? You know what I mean? Because I know they count the individual tops when we pick up that kind of garbage. And it's just like the tops. So I know they count those individually. I'm talking about the angels out here. Yeah, man. What a mess, man. But we all know who the guilty ones are. We do. They like to take off running the second we show up, trying to do our community service out here for the land and stuff. You know, the ones that shy away, the ones that take off, they know who the guilty ones are. Also, another bad thing about doing this kind of hobby, the way I do it, when people see us, if they take off, it doesn't mean that they're guilty. Most of the time. Well, some of the time. it also means that they might think that I'll see them and then ask them to help. You know, because people don't like picking up garbage. They don't. So they just take off, go somewhere else when they see us come around. Also, it kind of makes people a little angry in a different kind of way when they see me coming around picking up the garbage in parks and stuff like that, around the mountain, other places. Well, it makes them angry because it makes, in a way, it kind of makes them feel like, I'm not going to say it makes them feel like they did something wrong. It's just, you know what I mean. They might think I'm going to be blaming them for it or something, you know, even though it really wasn't them. I mean, I don't have to use a paddle for this stuff right here. There's like 7 things up in here. 5 o'clock. Got about 3.5 hours before dark. I mean, before sunset. About 4 hours before dark. I'm not doing bad on time, really. If you think about it, man, look at the junkiness out here, man. You can't really step down in this thing either. You're going to go up to the knee and all this right here. This debris. Got to take a different approach to this, though. Why can't I ever find anything cool, you know? Look at that. Load it down again with this junkiness, man. No cool old bottles. I don't think you can take them from the lake if they're over a certain age. Heck is that thing? Probably some kind of fish and stuff. These bags are the worst of them. They are. They always fill with silt and water. And you gotta spring a leak just to empty them out. They always weigh a ton because of the surface area. Water likes to cling onto them. It's almost getting to the point where there's not enough room for me. I'll be swimming this thing back. Tied behind us, man. Heck is that thing? Yep, go figure. Hope you like my little heaven cleaning videos. I know they're not much. It'll just come back anyway. I just try to do what I can. I'm not about to get that basketball. I don't think anybody comes out here to this side, though. You can't stand in that. Well, they do. I can see where people have been matting things down back there. If they saw me out here now, they would just take off. Uh-oh, we got a glass bottle. Gonna weigh things down a little bit. I know you're waiting for something impressive. Aren't we always waiting for something impressive? Beautiful scenery, though. Oh, look, we got a family of ducks over there. On the other side of that log, you don't see them. A mom and a dad, and I think 2 or 3 ducklings. Looks like I'm going to have to avoid that spot. They're picking flowers off the bushes, the low-hanging bushes. Adorable. Especially the little ones. It's that time of year, it's springtime. Not quite in the summer yet. That's probably their cozy little home over there. Oh no, they're going to see us. No. Don't worry about me, guys. I'm trying to stay still. We were caught in 4K. Whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. Maybe I should have asked him, what do you need with the flowers off the bushes? I don't think they would have told us. But I bet they're glad to see this stuff going. I don't know if I can get out right here. I mean, you're on a slippery boulder. I need to get off the back though and load the garbage up. Anybody can come out here at any time and see the kayak. If I decided to hop up in here and stow it someplace, they would see the bright blue thing and probably play some prank or something while I go exploring these woods for the next hour and a half. I might have to choose a better spot. I mean, besides, this giant boulder right here just drops right down into the water. I mean, it's probably up to the neck right up in here. I know, great swimming waters. Great heaven. Let me find an easier spot, a safer spot. This thing right here is no joke. We're about to make landfall. Don't tell me that's another garden bag or something. Oh no, it's just an optical illusion. Bright light with an edge of a branch. There's a baseball seam. I mean, not a seam, but a baseball cover. Yeah, this is my getting out spot. Look at that, beautiful. The only thing I'm concerned about is this is a backup zone around a lake, which means what? Bottles have a tendency to back up. If I see a main trail, I'm going to be going all crazy. I think I might see one right here. Where you see it matted down, I can't tell if that's a game trail or not. At least it's the middle of the week and not a weekend. See, I don't know if there is a trail, a connecting trail from that side over there. The trail of the Muskogee. I don't know if it connects on this side. I want to hop up in here, see what's going on. Never been on this side before. Never explored up in here. But you can't get lost. Doesn't look like it's heavily used too much. Still hard to tell if it's a game trail or if it's a connecting trail or something like that. Makes me kind of weary to stash the kayak up in here. I mean, you can't miss it. I would have to drag that joker a long way, for real. But what are the odds of somebody walking up here on this side during a weekday afternoon? I was thinking, I don't know if I should go ahead and try to get the garbage out or go exploring first. Get this thing on. I took a walk up here. There's just like a slew of bottles and crap all through here. What's making me think I was going to come back and get the garbage bag and the grabbers and just go ahead on with it. But I went up there to try to get a glimpse of what might be out here. You know, large signal tree. One large oak tree, 245 years old up in here. I didn't see anything though. All I see is a lot of new growth, especially when it comes to the pine trees out here. Besides, it's extremely doubtful that there's anything like that out here. This was most likely part of the construction of 78 to store the equipment the land equipment and all, bulldozers and stuff, while they created the highway. You got the ramp right up here. You got the entrance, the curve that comes around to the main entrance. You got the road right here, main entrance over here, the gate. So we're just like in the corner. Most likely this was completely cleared off and manipulated. Yeah, someone's been out here recently. Probably in the last day or two. Probably earlier today, don't know. There's footprints right here. They look fairly fresh. Now I don't know if it's safe to leave the kayak, since anyone could just show up. Yeah, I decided to start cleaning first. I felt bad for the place. And of course the little ones out here. Don't need the ducks to be seeing this. I don't want them to be embarrassed for us. Yeah, man, it's amazing how much stuff, how much crap you see when you get out of the kayak and just hop up in this thing. I'm trying to get this 40-gallon bag full. That would be quite the accomplishment. I mean, that's a sad sight though. This amount of garbage out here around the lake. Trying to get the stuff out of the water and stuff too, you know. That's a big A bag for real though. Definitely be quite the accomplishment. Just get what I can get though, without getting attacked. Thought I saw something move. Yeah. About dang time someone came out here to get this stuff though. Looking a whole lot better. For real though. Almost half full. A lot of big pieces of styrofoam. Large celebration balloons. I'm looking. That's a big A slab for real. A lot of stuff is natural to the landscape, not manipulated. Huh. Wonder if they've ever thought about coming out with like a pressure washer or something like that, and then the large brooms, the flat ones, like the industrial ones, to see if there's carvings on things like this, because it's been covered up like this for thousands of years. No one would ever know what's on these things. But I guess it's just best to leave it as is. We can always dream about it. I'm trying to follow this ditch. I know where it empties out from though. Over here by the main entrance. That's why I'm getting some of this stuff up. But there's this weird white quartz I've never seen before out here around the park. It's all over the place out here. Little chunks. Well, not really little, but you know, they look like pieces of styrofoam. But you get up on them things and you find out it's white quartz. I'm not gonna get up in this thing. I know I'm very unprepared. I'm not dressed for the part. I never am when it comes to this hobby. In the kayak, that is. Yeah, these things. Never seen this kind of white quartz around the mountain. I don't know if it was dumped here or not. It's all over the place out here. Every chunk is almost the exact same size. Yeah, I think this is going to be it up here, where it comes through the landscape from the road over here by the main entrance, the main gate. Ain't nothing like exploring. You don't ever know what you're going to come across. But we haven't came across anything too exciting yet, except the landscape itself. And that's exciting enough, especially when you make it someplace for the first time. Just to say that it's been covered. Perfect. There's two people coming over here on their kayak. And they're just the lounging type, you know. Kind of like what I was doing earlier. And they're going to be seeing my kayak and my crazy butt out here doing Rambo style cleaning. There they go. Yeah, they're the exploring type. They're under the bridge. They saw me over here earlier. Who else is seeing us? Here we go, bag's getting heavy. It's almost full though. Depends on the sizes of the things that I'm required to pick up out here. Could be a large piece of styrofoam. It's going to fill up the rest. Let's hope it's not. Let's hope it's enough that'll make a dent in the landscape out here. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. You know, they might take it literally. You know, like a meteor or something. Let me rephrase that. Let's hope it's going to be a bunch of the smaller things that can really make a difference out here. Yeah, I think they're fishing back there, man. They keep looking over here. I've been right in their face the entire time. But I already know where I'm going to fill this thing up from. Out of this place. It's the backup zone. Another one. An inset. Which means there's going to be plastic galore up in here. You're going to say there's going to be snakes galore up in there. Well, that too. But you know how the balance of life, how it works out in places like this. They know I want to explore the lands. And I don't think I can start exploring up in here until I finish filling the bag. But I'm going to end up filling it out of here. Which means I'll be done with the bag. Which means I can explore. Pending that, of course. Might have to hide the kayak. They've already seen it though. They're probably going to get out of their kayak just to inspect mine. What I'll do to myself out here. Everything's going to look like a snake anyway. Let's hope there's not going to be one in here, you know. Because I got to get in it. Get all these little bottles. You're going to say there's something right there that'll fill the kayak. The tire. What do I get myself into? Trying to clean heavenly places, man. It sucks when this stuff is full of mud. Joker's almost full. I'm getting a little bit nervous though. I think they made it to the kayak. I can hear him talking about something over there. Oh, there's our first piece of cool stuff right here. Maybe I'll keep that for my art. Look at that. That's like modern right there. I know it's a piece of machinery. Probably some lawnmower or something like that. Could be anything else, but it's flat and it's modern looking. I'm going to save that for my collection. I'll probably forget about it though. Got to get up all this stuff right here, man. And then take the bag back to Kayak to let them know my presence is in here. You can hear them too. They're right over here. They're right next to the bank. And they're seeing my bank for the day right here, going into the account. If you knew what that meant, but you probably already know. Can't afford to be dropping things out here. Man, I want to get up in these woods, man. I'm excited. See if I can make it to the highway. Just run on up there real quick. Just to say I did it. And then when I come back, I'll drive past and be like, that's where I was last week. Or whenever, you know. We made it. Of course it's full. Go figure. Yeah, they're right here. Let me hurry up. Perfect. Extremely heavenly now. Now that we made it. Now that we completed our duties. Due to the size of the bag. Dang, that thing is jam-packed. Look at that. Last little thing right here. And of course it works out like this. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it work out like this? Got every single last piece. I know there's going to be more. But we're at that boundary line. That elbow. Where we can't go any further when it comes to this right here. But of course it's going to work out like this. Go figure. Thank you, Lord. That's what I'm talking about. Perfect triangle. Let me go ahead and get this garbage out of here. Wash the feet off. Get up in these woods up in here. It's getting late. And I know it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to get back. Paddling at a quick pace. Because we're 2.5 miles from the boat ramp. Good day. Yeah, time to play it off. They're standing right next to my kayak. They're right there. They're both wearing white t-shirts. One's got dark hair. Time to make excuses. Yeah, they're right here, right on my kayak, man. I told you, man. I told you. You can't do jack. Now they're pulling away. Let's hope they didn't take the keys out. I got my wallet on me too. Beautiful. Trying to get this little bottle up in here. Well, so much for exploring on the lands up in here. It's already like 6:35, man. It's going to take me a minimum of an hour and a half to get back to the boat ramp. Man, kind of had me worried a little bit there. See, you got some nosy people out there, but there's a difference between nosy, criminal, and just following your curiosities to find cool things, you know. Yeah, it's almost like you can't trust anybody. Second I put this thing up on the bank, I was concerned about it. And rightfully so. Yeah, they took a look in the hatch. It was wide open and my headphones were in the seat. and I didn't leave them in the seat. But you know, I'm not a confrontational human being. I'm not about to chase them down. You heard how quickly they were taking off. They were practically just getting off the bank. But you talk about the bank. When I was complaining about that thing earlier, about not trusting the fact that you don't know who's going to roll up in there and see the kayak. But I didn't know that somebody was going to jump up in that thing and try to look inside of it, see if they could find something of worth, something valuable or something. And it's a dang good thing that I got the wallet and the Ziploc bag up in here. With the Benadryl too, you know. Gotta have that Benadryl for real. And the second I saw them taking off, I was like, thank you, Lord, for telling me to put the wallet in the pocket, even though I wasn't going to go too far. You know? Heck, I'm lucky that they didn't think about taking the keys. Lesson learned. And there it is right there, 78. You're gonna say you're exploring on a kayak, that's good enough, right? Good point, good point. Every time I come to the mountain during the wintertime, you can see right through the trees, and I try to see the condition of the lake, you know? Try to see how deep it is, how shallow it is. Trying to judge how much rain we need to nourish the landscapes. Boy, it's shallow up in here, man. I would never recommend stepping foot in something like this. Well, you already know why. You'll never get out. Well, you'll need a walker. You'll need to hang on to the kayak, a flotation device, and try to pull yourself out. And then walk till you can get back in it. Man, does that ever smell nasty. It smells like a little bit of rust, iron, metal, and someone having, you know, diarrhea. It's crazy how much stuff just comes right out of the soil like that, the methane. I just stuck the paddle in, and this is softer than, you know what, man, look at it. Hold your breath. But I was coming over here to take a look at something. You know how they love to protect things out here. Don't get your hopes up. There's no way we can even get out to take a look. We would be asking for some serious trouble up in here. But it's probably nothing. There's something that caught my eye from a distance. It's flipped on its side, upside down. I can't tell, it's covered up. It looks almost exactly like the mountain. There's no way to tell what that thing is. Imagine if it was Native American pot. The way it's covered up in soils and stuff like that. The silt. It looks like clay soils. I don't even think I can get the camera closer. But one thing's for sure. There's no way in heaven we'll be able to find out. Not worth the risk. Well, you know me and my curious mind. When it comes to things like this, I never give up. You know, when it comes to looking for major things. Just due to our curiosities. use the kayak as a walker and risk it. That was a little bit scary. It's got some weight to it. You guys are a fool for real. It's a freaking side mirror to a truck. And it wasn't even a football. Time to go backwards into deep water so I can get myself into the kayak. The heck do I do to myself out here, man? Oops, there we go, up to the knee. Let me focus on this thing. You know, they spoke to us earlier. Like when I was picking up the plastic bags around the corner. And I was talking about how much of a pain in the butt they are. Because of their surface area on how it holds water a lot. And they weighed the bag down too much. So I remembered the phrase surface area. So I'm trying to step on little sticks. Almost like walking in snowshoes out here. I told you. Maybe I should have a disclaimer on this video. Don't try this at home. Well, you can try all you want when it comes to cleaning. That is never safe. There was one spot I took a step in, and it's one of those situations where every time you take a step, you got to make sure you're moving as quickly as possible and not putting too much weight on those legs. And the more you stay put without moving or pulling it out, look, it's still bubbling over there. As if I'm still walking in it. That's crazy though. How it works out here, man. Why did I even risk that thing? Man, for a mirror? With a broken face. Yeah, but I got stuck up in this one right here. And then the more I kept trying to pull it out, the deeper this one kept on going. It got to the point where the kayak to me was starting to get about chest high. And I was on my elbows within the seat trying to pull the legs out. Things I get myself into. Thankfully, I was able to get out of it. Good thing they didn't claim the shoes either. I thought they almost claimed the one on the left. I almost couldn't get it out. And I just got these things.